Hey guys, this is Jadal Quick. I am the founder and CEO of Adulting with Moi. This is, I guess, now the second live session. I'm trying to do a series. Basically, every other Tuesday, I'll go live about a topic that you guys DM me about or email me about, and just obviously give the people what they want. Why budget? A few points I wrote. These are really basic, but it's true. Budgeting allows you to create some type of spending plan for your money, right? That's what it really is. It helps you get in tune with what's going on with your money. It helps organize you. If you didn't know how much you were making, now you know. If you didn't know how much you were spending, which most people don't, in a month's time frame, it can be shocking for the first time. I have had a lot of clients be like, I didn't realize I was paying all this. And I'm like, yeah. Now you know, so let's cut some things out if you don't need them, or we need to get another job because you can't afford it. So there's different things that comes within shocks and stuff like that. So with that said, it's very big and really huge to know, what you're doing with that, right? So next thing, why budgeting is so important. When you're following a budget / spending plan, because some people call it spending plans, it actually will keep you out of debt. I say that because what you're doing is kind of allocating money for these buckets that you think that you may need, because you obviously are budgeting for your lifestyle. And basically with those buckets that you create and you put money in that you can afford, you don't need to use debt to live your lifestyle because you're utilizing your income, which is, I don't say free money, but which is not debt, and it's technically not borrowed money, as a credit card would be, right? Or the other thing about following a budget spending plan, well, I said was that it really ensures you that you'll always have enough money for your livelihood. Because with my certain types of, when I tell my clients, I'm always thinking of every type of lifestyle event that could happen. Of course, emergencies, of course, savings, of course, retirement. But of course, if you have certain things like, I need to get my hair done every 2 weeks. That's fine. If you could afford it, I will say make that a budget line item. If you can't, I'm like, well, maybe we should adjust. Maybe we should learn how to do our own hair, or you need to get your nails done or get your hair cut. Whatever the case may be, everyone has their own vices, and I'm really just here to help you imagine your life within, a better source of way instead of just frivolously spending your money just because, oh my God, I need this. And it does come down to wants and needs. I talked about this in savings, I believe. And if I haven't, I talk about it all the time with my clients. It really comes down to the basic fundamentals of want and a need. Do you know the difference of that? People love to say, oh yeah, of course I do. But when it comes down to getting Broccoli Fest tickets, and because they're on sale just for this one day only, or not one day only, but it just, launched, and you see all your friends are saying, let's get this ticket. What is that? A want or a need? Some might argue it's a need. I gotta go. I haven't ever been. True, but it's still a want because it doesn't, actually change your livelihood at all in the sense where, you actually will benefit life, in some type of way. You don't get a return of your investment on a Broccoli Fest ticket, So that's what I try to help my clients see, because it does come down to the basic fundamentals of, hey, is it a want or need? You can have a need. We can make a budget for it so that you know that you're obviously spending the money that you make and not borrowing anything from other people. Other people is obviously the bank, but if you have people that lend you money, that's beautiful. I don't. So, I just trying not to do that. Okay. The other thing moving along is following a budget plan, is really great. Also, too, if you're trying to work your way out of debt. I'm not sure about you guys, but I have debt. It's not news to anyone, but we all have debt in our own way, probably from school or credit card debt, consumer debt, whatever the case may be. You have debt. So with budgeting, I just feel like you definitely have you don't have a budget. Okay, I was like you, so I totally understand. And we can definitely go over that if you would like to. But yes, with student loans, that's a really big debt that I have. So with my budgeting, I'm able to really just look at, okay, great. What do I make? Let's minus all my expenses. I need to pay off this debt. I don't want to have it forever. So what do I need to do? I budget for that. I use my spending plan for that. So that's why it's very helpful to use if you have credit card debt, any type of debt. Okay. And then a few other things I wanted to say if you didn't know, but it helps you shed light on bad spending habits. When I started budgeting, I realized, I feel like, let's see. First of all, I didn't realize I spent so much money on other things that I probably shouldn't have my first year living on my own. And it really highlighted those bad habits of like, okay, maybe I need to try again the next pay period. Or maybe I need to go back and be like, okay, bet, let me do better this time, okay? So it really does shed light on bad habits that you may not even know you have. I said it before. One of my clients was like, oh, let me just write out all my expenses. It's not that much. And they wrote it out, and it was a bunch of subscriptions to things that like they don't even use anymore. So it was really good to see like, hey, you're spending money you didn't even know, so let's just cancel those. Okay. The other thing is helps you prepare for emergencies. Emergencies happen. Life happens. We can't plan emergencies, unfortunately, but you can plan to be prepared for them as much as possible. And with that said, if your car goes down, God forbid, but if anything happens, you get in a car accident, you need money ready and steady. Why not use the money you have in like a savings account that you have, or, I don't know, what do I say? I would say, okay, I personally would say if you have a money saving, like market account, then you could do that and then totally save it in there. Or if you have a savings account, I don't recommend that because you get higher APY. I've talked about this several times so people know. But with that said, I definitely believe that with what you're doing, budgeting, you could always have your emergency fund funded and you don't have to worry about going to a credit card for emergencies because then obviously that's borrow money, correct? And that's not cool. Okay. So the next thing is it helps you lead to a happier retirement. Some people don't know, but you will retire one day, or I hope you do. And with that said, it's really expensive to live the life that we have now as, the economy is growing and whatnot. And by the time we all retire, if you are all around my age, it will be even more expensive. So with that said, maxing out the 401k, if you have those types of options, is great. Maxing it out and matching, if your company offers that, that's amazing. Use that. If you don't have any of that, that's just totally okay. You can still open up a personal IRA, 401k account like Roth. And that's your own personal way, which I think is really beneficial for people that are more so entrepreneurs or people that don't have that benefit from their company, whoever they work for. So definitely, please make sure you budget appropriately for your future self, because you are your greatest asset, and you don't want your future self being like, dang, I really went crazy in my 20s. I really went crazy in my 30s and my 40s. And now here I am. That's not funny or cool at all. So definitely budget for that. And then, two more things. It helps you keep your eyes on the prize. If you have a goal, right, long term or short term, of like, hey, let me just go, personally, I want to be debt free in 5 years. That's my goal, right? It keeps me on my track when I'm budgeting, because I know I'm like, I'm not spending all this money frivolously. I'm actually putting it places that I need to go so I can achieve the main goal, which is being debt free in 5 years, which will be my 30th birthday. So that's my goal, right? And so I really, really, really think it helps you do that, because it's like, oh, great, a cool trip came up. Not saying you have to decline it, but if you budgeted for trips and you have a budget line item or bucket, whatever you want to call it, for that, then you're just great. You're like, oh, wow, I'm not actually spending more money. I've already been saving for this day, and here we are. So now I can go on a trip without hurting my wallet, okay, or my pockets. And then last thing, it really does help ensure that you don't spend money you don't have. Negative bank accounts, they happen. I've had them. Currently, maybe had it recently, but for whatever reason it happens, and you don't want negative accounts daily. If you're used to that, that's not a great lifestyle to live. I'm sure you feel pressure, and if you want out of that, you might want to start budgeting, because it helps you really spend the money that you need to spend on the right things. Okay, so moving on from why you need a budget. If you weren't convinced at all, I don't know what to tell you. You may want to watch a YouTube video about it, because I do talk about it, but it's definitely a big thing if you do have it, okay? The other thing is, how do you budget? For some people that don't know, budgeting can be very simple. If you need help, obviously, I'm totally open. You can book a session with me in the link in my bio, or DM me, email me, whatever you like. I will reach out or get to you if you would like to do it together. And I do recommend it if you've never done it, because sometimes it can be very overwhelming when you don't. So with that said, what you need is obviously to know your income, and you need to figure out your income after tax, okay? Not the gross, because a lot of people mess up like, I make this amount, and it's like, you will never see that amount because you don't get paid that amount. Uncle Sam comes in, takes it. If you have 401ks, insurance, whatever other things you have that's a pre-tax, it's going to be out. So you want to get the after-tax income because that's your real nitty-gritty number, okay? So after you get that, then you subtract all the expenses you have. The expenses, I like to say, are real bills. Bills, in my definition or line, is anything that is a good or service that you need for your livelihood in a way. So rent would be one. I would say, electricity, if you obviously need electricity to live. Car notes, car insurance if you have a car. Those are types of necessity bills that you need. I would not put groceries on there, one, because I think that's something that can fluctuate. I'm sorry, I meant to say this. Any bill in my head is a fixed amount every month. So rent is a fixed amount. Your electric bill is a fixed amount. Trying to think what else. Your car note is a fixed amount, right? So with that said, your groceries don't have to be a fixed amount. It could be 50 this month. It could be 100 next month. Who knows? Depending on what you're doing with your life, that's not a fixed amount. It's a variable. So I wouldn't include that as an expense. I guess the tips and tricks that I would like to give to you all about that is, a lot of people use envelope systems. That's what I use when I first started.